Well, hello and welcome to TEDxDupreeParkTV. We are delighted to have you with us today. Go ahead and click the share button underneath wherever you're watching this. If you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're watching it on Twitter, please just share it with your friends. Bring some more people in because we're going to have a wonderful show today. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to be inspired. You're going to be educated. You're just going to walk away saying, oh my gosh, that's great stuff. I'm glad I spent the time with them that I did, because we are all focused on seeding greatness throughout the world. You know, TEDx is all about spreading ideas that matter. And at Dupree Park, our TEDx Dupree Park, we are focused on seeding greatness with those great ideas. And the person who got it all started is my co-host today and organizer, Steve Monahan. So let me bring Steve on. And Steve, what's going on in your life today?
Hey, Gina, how are you?
Doing wonderful.
How you doing down there in Florida? Is it sunny or raining or what?
It's a pretty good day today. Actually, I haven't looked outside too much. I've been in here working, but it is pretty. It's a nice day.
Yeah, it's nice here. That had some rain. We're in, Georgia with the rain in the summer. It's kind of like Florida when I used to live there. It gets so hot during the day, about 3 or 4 o'clock. It just builds up and it just dumps water all over the place. And then it's fine.
Okay.
So, doing good.
Well, I know that you have been doing some really interesting things recently. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your latest interesting project?
Yeah, it's like project of the week, but I'm able to keep a bunch of balls bouncing at the same time. 3 weeks before, I had a big birthday. And so I, reflected on it, and I really have decided to double down on wellness. I want to, keep going. I want to feel good, and I want my mind to keep clicking. So I've doubled down on going plant-based and vegan, and I've immersed myself in what I have to do is, in order to keep myself focused on something, I have to kind of always watch something or read something on it on a regular basis, and that works for me. So I've been watching a lot of documentaries on veganism, plant-based. Part of our Green Pets, we launched a new group, and we've named it Eat More Vegan. And so I get articles every day, and it kind of keeps me in it. But there was one I wanted to share with you all, and you've probably seen these, Gina, but I've put on our website, which again is the eatmorevegan.com, and it's the top 10 documentaries produced on plant-based eating. And it's like a short synopsis of each one. And so it really gets people to think about it, focus on it. And it's got great information in there. So I really suggest they can go to our website and watch it. And then if there's one they really want to dig deep into, then go and watch them. But the first one, number one, is Cowspiracy. And it's really about the FDA is so tied in and so close to agriculture and the beef industry. And it just kind of sheds a light on that. The next one, and I really like, and I think people would like, is the Game Changers. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it, different ones. And it has about the top 15 athletes in the world that are all vegan and have been vegan for years. One of them is the man that's lifted the most weight, something like more than a car, and he is straight vegan. There's the story that you can't put weight on, and the football players, need the steaks and stuff. Well, they have all these different football players. One of the teams, one that hadn't won before, and most of them had turned vegan. So, there's so many myths that are being broken in this. Another one is by Joaquin Phillips' Dominion. Another one is Running for Good, about runners that are on vegan, plant-based. One is The Last Pig. One's Invisible Vegan, and it has to do with about the people of color that, they think we associate them with only soul food, but they are so into vegan themselves. So they're really interesting movies that if anybody, and the website I've created is, we're friendly and we're just there to help you. We're not lecturing you. We're not fussing about it. It took me a while to get into it, and then you fall off. So we're not preaching. We just want to help you get there. And, if you can't eat vegan every day or every meal, at least you start. And eventually you start learning. It's not so hard to do, especially now with the COVID. Just so many things meat sales are down, yet the plant-based meat just this year is up 467%, while the regular meat is down. So it's kind of easy to get into it. And I know a lot of people say, well, I can't do it. Well, you can't climb Mount Everest, but they kind of feel they're supposed to do that immediately. So just take your time and get into it, and you get used to it. You get used to recipes, and it's just the best way to do it. I think that's just the only way I want to teach it and help is not an iron fist, but just try it and see it. So that's kind of what I've been up to right now.
That is so cool. Well, I was featuring the website while you were
That's
talking.
right. Cool.
And you have, just in a short period of time, put some really golden nuggets out there, some wonderful information. And so it's very helpful. And thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, you're the one who basically introduced me to it years ago by telling me to go get that Forks Over Knives book. And I got it. And I wish I had taken that action a lot sooner. It took me a while. And I had to experiment.
It does. If we go into it with the right mindset, and give ourselves some time, it'll work. It's just like the regular. Everybody, January 1st, they go to the gym. 3 months later, they're out. They just push it too much because it's something you want to do for the rest of your life. And I think people are really waking up to that. And actually, Forks Over Knives is one of those. It's number 4. And it's a great one, introductory one.
Well, we're going to learn a lot more about plant-based eating today because our first guest is just so brilliant at helping people with this. And so let me tell you guys a little bit about him that you're going to really enjoy getting to know him. Hold on just a second here. Here we go. So this is Dr. Ajay Shah, and he is a board-certified cardiologist. He joined Oaklawn Medical Group Heart and Vascular Institute in 2013. He's a native of the Indian state of Gujarat. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but Gujarat is what it looks like. He began his medical studies in 1980 at the SMT NHL Municipal Medical College in India. And after graduating in 1986, he moved to the United States for further training. He served as a transitional internal medicine residency at McNeil Hospital in Detroit. And then he's a cardiology fellowship at St. Elizabeth's Medical Center before entering private practice in Michigan. So he's a fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His experience includes pacemaker implants, cardiac catheterization, all kinds of stuff that I can't even pronounce here, nuclear and vascular studies. So he resides in Marshall with his wife, Jayshree, his son, Amish, and daughter, Saloni. So let me bring Dr. Shah on board. And so Dr. Shah, welcome aboard today.
So good to be with you, Gina and Steve. And I think I just listened to Steve's, explanation why we should be going vegan. And I think I've been a vegetarian for last, 58 years, vegan for last 3 years. And I think the benefits we start to realize being vegan, vegetarian are so rapid and so effective that when people start going just with one meal per day, their energy improves, their mood improves, and eventually their like just you said, Gina, that most people tell me actually why I did not do it earlier. They almost feel like they are actually behind in the game, and they actually want to do even better than I do in terms of catching up to what they have missed out being a non-vegan. So I think veganism is not a cult. Vegan is a science. Vegan is a type of medicine I actually prescribe now. I think many time in the past, I used to prescribe medications and procedures to take care of a lot of cardiac issues. Now, my main method of taking care of people is changing the lifestyle. Fortunately, our body can forgive, our body can reverse many of the chronic disease if we take care of it. And becoming vegan, and we will cover some other pillars of the healthy lifestyle, but becoming vegan and becoming plant-based is number one pillar of being healthy. Now, like Steve said, we cannot do overnight. We have to start small and build it up, just like we start going exercising. We have to build it up slowly and then keep going. And I think if people start with one meal and add second, third after a few weeks, I can assure you, I can pretty much guarantee you the people will start feeling better. Their medications will start coming off. They will start sleeping better. Their mood will improve. Their productivity will improve. The sex life will improve. And they eventually will just become vegan one day. And even if you become 90% vegan, just like those blue zones, I'm okay with it. 90% vegan is great. I'm myself 100% vegan. I expect everybody to be vegan one day. But even if we get gradually up there, and even if we get up to 90% vegan, I think we'll be a lot ahead in this chronic disease disaster.
Mm. Well, yeah, so you pack so much in there. And I know that for decades, the number one killer in the United States has been heart disease. Of course, you're a cardiologist. Could you dig into a little bit the connection between, or the explanation of why eating plant-based, whole food plant-based helps with the heart health and could reduce so many of these deaths? I mean, I know they're doing the COVID counters and how many people have died. I wish they would be doing a heart disease
Yeah.
counter because that impacts so many people in so many ways, stroke, heart attack, all these things. So could you dig into that a little bit, please?
Definitely. I think heart disease has been number one killer for last 100 years. Last 100 years. And one would think that being such a smart American, being such an advanced country, if something is killing us for 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, we would learn our lesson. Heart disease is killing us for 100 years. Unfortunately, we have not learned lesson. Heart disease, number one killer in America. Canada actually is doing better than us. Canada heart disease is number two killer now. So we need to catch up to many other countries. And like we talked about it, we have enough studies now, including studies from Seventh-day Adventist people in Loma Linda, right here in America, which is one of the blue zone, that people, Americans, we are not talking about outside America even, people in America, right in our backyard, people who are vegan, their body mass index, that means how much they weigh for the height, is much lower, like 22, very healthy. They have much less chance of heart disease. They live 10 years longer. They live actually very healthy at 90, 95. They're driving at 100. They're very happy, healthy, and long living. So veganism definitely is proven not just for heart disease, but in general in terms of our health. When we talk about plant-based food, traditionally, when you have a whole food, plant-based food, those foods are very low in saturated fat compared to animal products, which packs a lot of the saturated fat. And we know now saturated fat is one of the biggest reason for development of heart blockage and strokes and even blockage in the legs. So saturated fat is number one reason we should be going plant-based. Second thing, plant-based food does not contain cholesterol. Animal products contain cholesterol. So that way, when you go whole food plant-based, essentially you are not taking any dietary cholesterol. Now, obviously, there are some conflicting reports about dietary cholesterol and how it affects our cholesterol in the blood. But in general, if you avoid any dietary cholesterol, that's better for you. And going plant-based definitely will avoid the dietary cholesterol. Third thing, many of the animal products, actually particularly red meat, has a certain amino acids, certain substances, for example, a choline. And when that choline is acted by bacteria in our colon, it creates a TMA, and then our liver makes a TMAO, and the TMAO is when really shown to cause a lot of heart blockage, a lot of strokes. So there are multiple reasons for animal products to be causing heart disease, heart blockage, and strokes. And the solution clearly is to go plant-based. When we go about plant-based, there are a lot of vegans, particularly in the India and many other countries where vegan and vegetarian, they still develop a lot of heart disease, heart blockage, and stroke. So going vegan is not adequate. We have to go whole food, plant-based vegan, because eating French fries is vegan, but it packs a lot of the saturated fat, a lot of the oil, a lot of the salt, a lot of the starchy food. So French fries is not going vegan. Vegan means essentially eating whole food, plant-based, without any oil or as much low oil as you can. So that's my part. I think if we go whole food, plant-based, without any oil, it also packs a lot of the fiber. We know that animal products, including all meat, fish, chicken, dairy, cheese, everything has zero fiber. All animal products have zero fiber. Fiber only comes from plant-based food. And when we pack the fiber in our diet, fiber actually lowers your cholesterol, lowers your estrogen level in the blood. So even some of the other disease go down. So fiber actually even prevents the diabetes. Fiber actually makes you live long. So all those benefits from plant-based food is the reason I've gone vegan myself. Many of my patients have gone vegan. Many of them are reversing their heart disease. Many of them are reversing diabetes. So I essentially think the solution to our healthcare crisis, not just in terms of the cost to the country, but in terms of the suffering for the people, in terms of dying prematurely, dying at 78 in America for a male versus Japan, which is 82, 85. So why should be living less compared to any other country? And that's where I essentially think promoting this vegan, whole food, plant-based food is must. And that's what I feel like we are like small soldiers, Steve, myself, because the industry, the food industry, the lobbying, the all the industries are so much, animal farming are so much more together. They have so much more power compared to people like us. I think veganism is increasing. Fortunately, it's doubling every year, every 2, 3 years, but we are still in about 5 to 7% versus people who eat meat, they're about 90%. So we have a long way to go. We need to work together. We need to make a grassroots movement. With the help of social media, we can reach every American's home. We can show them the benefits. We can provide them free information. We don't have to charge them. And your platform, Steve's platform, is doing this job so wonderfully. We have all the documentaries. So every time my patient comes to the office now, I have a list of documentaries, a list of books, a list of the authors which I want them to watch on YouTube. It's all free. It's all free. We need to make this thing a grassroots movement. When an American goes to the doctor's office and says, Doc, I want to reverse my heart disease by a lifestyle. I want to reverse my heart disease by nutrition. I want to reverse my heart disease by going vegan. Doctors will have no choice but to respond to that. Right now, doctors are very busy. They themselves are not vegan. We get, as a cardiologist, we get as a doctors, no more than 5 hours of education on nutrition. How can a doctor can teach their patient about being vegan, whole food, plant-based, just with 5 hours of nutrition or lectures on nutrition? So we need to change basic education in the medical school. I think, in my opinion, food is medicine. Hippocrates has said thousands of years ago. We need to really change our medical education to say, put the food as the #1 goal when we are treating the patients. They say in a jokingly way that food industry does not care about the health of the people, and health industry does not care about the food of the people. And that those two statements are so true. Health industry is missing out on what's the right food. Food industry is missing out on what's healthy for the people. Unfortunately, that's the way life is, but we can make a dent by working together.
Right. You said that so well. And it really, I hate to say it because I don't want to turn people off, but it's just money. It's power and money. The FDA and the lobbyists, they're all part of the same thing. So we really can't get the truth of what's really making us sick. I mean, they do these studies in cancer that it goes on 20 years. You really could find it's just what we're eating. You don't have to look for the Holy Grail. It's what we're eating. But there's no money in yet. There has not been big money in vegan, but it will. And plant-based is starting to turn. There's more companies getting in, more startups, more seed money, literally, is going to them. So once the money gets in, once more companies get involved, once more people see that factory farming is not really working, there'll be a shift. But it's like you say, we kind of have to be the soldiers right now and do it on social media. That's why, I put that new site up on it, because it's really education. And that's what this TED is about. It's a little bit different on wellness, not sickness, but on wellness. All the things you've done, I've had them. I've had all the stents, probably 7 stents. I had the major bypass. I had my pericardium removed. And of all that, I mean, the best doctors at Emory that were involved with it. And when I asked about diet, it was like, yeah, probably Mediterranean would be good. Never brought up vegan, never brought up plant-based. And like you said, they're just not trained in it. And they're just not motivated in it. So, we have to take care of our own health. It's up to us. I'm so happy that doctors like you are coming along, because they trust the white coat. They put their trust in that. So when you're doing that is a remarkable thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it is. And Dr. Shaw, thank you so much for sharing this great information with us. As we wrap up here, is there anything, just a quick final thought, or please let us know how we can connect with you? I know you have a very vibrant, exciting Facebook page and some other things going on, but what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So they can reach me on our page, Healthy Living with Dr. Ajay Shah. We post 4 or 5 times a day, and we have decided not just to post about becoming vegan or being vegan, but just to be how to be a successful human being, because that involves not just healthy eating, but it involves being a good parent, being a good citizen, being a good spouse, being animal rights, women empowerment. So our movement is just not about healthy eating. Our movement is how to become a healthy, successful, long-living person. So please reach out to our page. Obviously, like Steve said, it's all free. It's all on education base, and we are growing. I think we have great partners. I mean, you two are our partners now. So we'll be doing it together. My sincere pledge to all our viewers, followers, and listeners is that please try vegan 1 meal a week for 1 month, and ask yourself how different you feel. And you will be your own judge. You will be your own doctor, And when you go back to your doctor after becoming vegan after 3 months, your doctor will be not only surprised, but will ask you what he or she can do for themselves compared to what you did. So take power in your own hand, read more about it, watch more videos, but try your best to go as whole food plant-based as you can.
Perfect. Well, what a perfect ending. And we hope to have you back in the future to share some more wisdom with us. And in the meantime, I'm going to be plugging into your page because that sounds real exciting. I know you're doing some really great work there. So Dr. Shaw, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Steve.
Take care.
Oh boy. He reminded me of this thing that I'm going to share with you guys right now. And just quickly, I want you to see, it's kind of small what's coming through, so you may not be able to see that very well. Let me see if I can make it bigger. But basically it says there are 2 kinds of cardiologists, vegans and those who haven't read the data. And that's Dr. Kim Williams, who's the former president of the American College of Cardiology. That's pretty powerful too, right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, go ahead.
No, I mean, the doctors are starting to come around. It's science-based. I mean, versus lobbyist and big money based.
Yeah, there's so many layers to this. As you know, I'm very, very passionate about it as well. And another person who's passionate about healthy living and healthy eating is our next guest, and that is Bhavna Mutha. She's a double board certified pharmacologist. I think that's the correct term. 20-year veteran in the field of pharmacy, and she loves to serve as a compassionate pharmacist. She has an incredible journey to share and many stories to tell. She has several published articles in Pharmacy Times, Drug Topics, Student Doctor Network, and currently serves as an advisory board member for the Pharmacist Moms Group in collaboration with Pharmacy Times publication. That's another very vibrant Facebook place to go, her group, the Pharmacist Moms Group. She's been a solid team player with TEDx Dupree Park, absolutely, and other community engagement, along with being a speech curator for the speakers. So we're just so glad she's come into our lives and on our team. Bhavna, welcome aboard today. How are you doing?
Hey, Gina, I'm doing awesome. It's so great to see you after a while. I was gone, lost preparing for the exam. So yeah, I'm so happy to be back on the team here. Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm fine. Good to see you again.
Well, to continue this conversation, I'm going to bring on one of our other team members, and that is our co-organizer, Mike Sina. And let's just have a little chat here about what's going on. Bhavna, what's going on with you, as well as what's going on with our sponsors and that sort of thing. But go ahead and give us a little update on what you've been doing.
So to start off, I really want to come back to all of us here in the screen, in the picture. Gina, thank you so much. You are vibrant, flawless executor for the whole entire show that you do. Mike is always infused so much energy. I spoke to Randy yesterday, and he is so well organized and managing all this event base. John Clunon, top of the game, the way he's just taking care of all the social media aspects. And above everybody, our leader of the pack, Steve Monahan. And it's so amazing. I learned so much from him, the way he handles people from diverse backgrounds, different levels, different attitudes. He knows to connect those dots and keep his ducks in the row and keep the smile and the composure. So hats off to our leader, Steve Monahan. An audience who's watching, I am supercharged to tell you, this is one of the best teams that you're signing up with. Our speakers, our coaches are above and beyond, and the team is filled with so much, integrity, ethics, and value. So that's all about TEDx that I want to say. Thank you all, and I salute the TEDx team, TEDx Dupree Park TV.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you've been around since, I think you were on our very first show, weren't you?
Yes, we started off.
Yes.
So.
Okay, well, very good. So, Mike, did you have a question for Bhavna?
Other than I've missed seeing you, I'm glad you're back with us. You bring a lot of energy and a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm to what we're trying to accomplish with Seeding Greatness and TEDxDupreePark.com. One of the things I'd like to comment on, kind of piggybacking off of Dr. Shaw a little bit, something I'm passionate about as well. And I will say I have moved dramatically to the vegan lifestyle since I've become more involved with Gina and you, Bhavna, and Steve. One of the things I focus on in my business, my life, we consume more than food. There's any number of things that come into our body that affect the overall health. And one of the things I've been focusing on in the last few months is trying to avoid the news cycle and try to engage in movement and try to, instead of consuming media, start creating some media, doing things outside of yourself that help keep things going in the right direction. And there was a terrific piece by a columnist in the Wall Street Journal, Elizabeth Bernstein, on the power of kindness, which very much piggybacks off of Nathan Caldwell, one of our TEDx speaker coaches that was on 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm just kind of curious, Bhavna, your take on, there's medical and then there's the spiritual and there's the other stuff that we consume. What your thoughts might be on that?
So yeah, and it's a wonderful plug-in today for me to come after Dr. Shah. So I've been a medication therapy management pharmacist, And two aspects that I'll plug in today is prevention is always better than cure, and a stitch in time saves 9. And if you apply those attributes to your lifestyle in so many different ways, what you put inside your body, it is so, so important. There are research studies that show, a change in the diabetes A1C levels, systolic and diastolic blood pressures, just by controlling your salt, the kind of diet you add, the stress levels, reducing the stress levels, caffeine, and all other factors, of course, play a role. So I have to tell you, I just recently presented nationally on the topic called medication therapy management. And a large part of that is to sit with the patient. We apply the skills called motivational interviewing, where you really try and cater to the patient's needs and you understand where they're coming from or what their disease state is. And it's basically trying to get into the belly of the patient and take it from there. Let them open up and talk to you about their disease state. And you want to not just be having a monologue, but you want to empower your patients with the knowledge. So for heart disease or stroke, there are so many aspects that we can educate our patients on. And everything starts from the basic thing. What you put into your body is so important. Your cholesterol levels control a lot of other system, happenings inside the body. Heart disease and all of those stuff can be definitely controlled by having a strategic approach on diet, exercise, and healthy mindset. What Dr. Shah just talked was packed with information. The plant-based diet, you definitely feel lighter with the kind of food that you're consuming. Now, he was 50-something years vegan. I am a hardcore vegetarian for about 44 years of my life. And I can tell that we are able to consume the protein in vegetarian diet. It is not difficult. And like, I'm so proud of Steve, you make those changes slowly. I ran into somebody who just turned vegan, and the way he started off is cutting down one item from his lifestyle, doing it once a week, doing it 3 times in the meal. So slowly and surely you can definitely get there. So again, piggybacking Dr. Shah, as a pharmacist, we are all gearing towards the same aspect of healthy mind, healthy lifestyle. It affects your stress levels in your body, all of the hormones that arise from the kind of food that you eat, the inflammation that it causes inside to your body system. So again, coming back to prevention is better than cure, and a stitch in time saves 9.
You're right. Perfectly right on it. I want to say something about you. You have been such an inspiration to this team. I mean, everybody's just so happy. You're always up. Once in a while, you're a little down. We'll have a little conversation, and you bounce right back. Or I'm a little down, and you'll lift me up. And that's just the way of nature. I mean, we're humans. But you've brought such integrity to it, but professionalism, and a lot of good people, that you've brought some onto our team, really high qualified professionals. But it's just such a thrill to have you with us, and you fit in as a team player. And when I would always go to the Publix, the pharmacy, and I'd pick up a prescription, there were 3 or 4 pharmacists back there, and they're working, and I really never paid much attention to them. I don't think I'm the only one, but I think in America, we see them back there, and we don't appreciate what they are really doing. You think, well, maybe it's just coming out of a box, but it's so much more than that. And so I have a totally new respect for pharmacists, of what they do and the important role that they play. And that ties into the work you're doing with Pharmacy Moms, which is a nonprofit. Share a little bit about that, because it opened me too that, you know, pharmacists, they got a life too. They're going in there and working 10 hours. And just like anything today, they're being pushed, you know, get more prescriptions out. And yet you can't, you know, this is important. This is life and death. So, you know, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And, you know, they have lives. So how is your group helping them do that?
That's a great question, Steve. And what you did was like nail in the head right there. Yes, you know, the respect that clinical pharmacists deserve across the world is lacking. And that is something that motivates and inspires me on a national or an international platform. I just spoke to somebody this morning who also talked about clinical pharmacist role in 17 different countries, how they want to apply, because the value of pharmacists is so much more than it's known. It's not just putting those pills in the box. They are behind there looking at your drug interactions, your drug dosages, your disease state conditions, while delivering the service that they are, you know, packing those drugs without any mistakes and complete accuracy. So in terms of pharmacist moms, you know, we started up the group where we want to motivate our moms who are balancing the life as a mother, you know, taking care of their children, as a wife, and still running the show. Most of the retail pharmacists, if you know, are working either 10 or 12-hour shifts. When I started my career, I still remember I worked like 3 days in a row. And at times, my daughter was little back then, and she would be so mad because she wouldn't get to see me. You know, I'd be tired, come home, sleep, get up, get back to work next day. So we're trying to motivate our pharmacist. Every month, our founder, Susan Soliman, she's so inspiring. We try to highlight a pharmacist who's done something in the field on the group. There's a lot of engaging, you know, happenings on the group. I happened to write a chapter on pharmacist mom and pharmacist skill set. And it is so cool how, as a mother, you nurture your home. And if that same pharmacist, you know, every pharmacist mom who's out there, they have capability to nurture the nation by nurturing the patient and help overall, you know, mental health of the nation, I would say. So that was my concept, where I prepared a presentation, which also helped us back Civic Leadership Award in the top 3 category. You know, as a mom, you want to nurture your home, and as a pharmacist mom, you are capable of nurturing the nation. The compassion, the care, the knowledge. If you combine all of that to your patients, every morning I woke up stoked. You know, which patient is going to be lucky to have talked to me today, and whose life is going to change because they have encountered this connection with the pharmacist. So all my viewers and audience, you know, vouch for the clinical pharmacist. APHA is working on getting us a provider status. So we are in a position to provide more services. With COVID vaccine coming up, we are in position to make impacts nationally, globally. So let the world know the value of pharmacists is how I want to put it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What did you say? You said you wake up and you say, whose life am I going to impact today? I love that. Say that again, please.
So every morning, you know, when you go to work, at times you're tired from the last shift, you know, 12, 13 hours. But what was my motivation is have a broad smile on the face, and which patient is going to be impacted today, because you're going to take the time, build that connection, change their life around. Somebody's struggling with money. Somebody just had diagnosis of cancer and they want to just break down and cry that day. And you just being there in the position to guide them or show them the light that, you know, something is there at the, there's a ray of hope. I think I'm not rich with my experience, but I'm rich with what my patients have taught me in last 20 years. They teach you a lot. When you're compassionate, they are going to open up to you. They are going to come look for the care from you. And I think I wouldn't change a thing about me being a pharmacist. Yes. I love
Oh,
what I
that's
do.
so wonderful. It's so great to see someone who's passionate about what they do and also active in the community and reaching out. And as Steve said, you've just been such a bright spot on our team, and we're just so excited that you're here with us. Before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to share before you leave?
So all our audiences who are listening, this TEDx team is vibrant. They are stand out. There are a lot of TEDx's out there. Will be coming out November 20th, right, Gina? So mark your calendars. Watch our speakers. We are going to roll out strong, and vouch and support us with our speakers. And of course, make a place in your heart for the clinical pharmacist or the retail pharmacist or the community pharmacist that you encounter, because there is a lot under the surface. What you see is the tip of the iceberg, but there's a lot under the surface that they take care of. So would love to have that kind of respect in the community and the society as pharmacists.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you and appreciate all that you do and appreciate all the pharmacists are doing out there to help people. And you really add a different perspective to that of being compassionate and how many times they are in that pivotal role to make or break someone's day just by how they're treated. So thank you so much, Bhavna.
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you, Gina. Thank you for having me.
Okay. See you around the team. All right. Well, our next guest is one of our sponsors. You know, TEDx Dupree Park is a nonprofit, and it takes sponsors to be able to put on a great event. And so we have a sponsor that we're bringing up now, and that's Damon Costner. And he leads the sales team for Matt Hand. He's one of our TEDx Dupree Park sponsors here in Woodstock. And Matt Hand designs, installs, and services custom material handling systems. Matt Hand, get it? Material handling systems for automation of warehousing solutions throughout the world. Matt Hand was established over 40 years ago by George Costner, who retired in 2003. Damon and his wife, Connie, took over the company at that time and continue to run it this day. Damon corresponds with customers, does site visits, develops job proposals, and leads the Matt Hand sales team in capturing new business. He also guides the project management staff and makes sure that the installation company, the material handling installers, runs well. So Matt Hand has completed work in 47 states, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Central and South America. And with that, let me bring on Damon. Hold on just a second here. Here we go. Damon, boy, it sounds like you guys are doing some real interesting work there. My undergraduate's industrial engineering, and so all that material handling stuff. How did you get into that field?
I got into it because my father owned the company, and I told him it was something I would never do. And here I am over 26 years later running the company.
Oh, boy. Well, that is really interesting. Tell us a little bit about what attracted you to our TEDx and why you felt compelled to sponsor us.
So the TEDx, my wife, Connie, started watching TEDx's and then got me interested in it. The topics of the TEDx's range greatly, but for businesses, a lot of them are great, and some of them are hilarious too. The speakers that you have. And so when a TEDx came to Woodstock, we jumped on the opportunity to go, and we brought a lot of our employees to that opening. And we just thought it was the thing to do because we like them so much.
That's terrific. Well, Steve, have you had a chance to visit his facility?
No, I haven't. I'd like to sometime. I'm sure it'd be interesting. Do you consider yourself in the supply chain? Is that?
Yeah, it's a lot of times I call us a logistics company, but we're supply chain. So our customers need help moving their product into the stores where we buy the product from, or in their distribution centers like an Amazon where they distribute all the products to us via mail. And so we're kind of a behind the scenes company that helps our customers and their challenges in their warehouses store and retrieve their products.
Okay. So do you become involved with things like robotics?
Yes, more and more so these days.
Yeah.
Since automation is taking over, we are trying to push automation more and more.
Yeah, you see Amazon is starting to introduce that in some areas. I guess it's, it's good and bad. I see it from, it's just one more person's job is gone. I mean, in that respect, it concerns me. Because if you take it to the ultimate success is there's robots everywhere. Well, what does that mean? Where did the jobs go? I remember I was in corporate, high-level corporate, and after a while I started fussing we're saving the bottom line by sending all these jobs overseas. But I kept trying to say, but we're going to lose jobs. And if we don't have jobs, who's going to buy the product? And it's like, well, don't worry about that. There's always more. Well, I mean, now we're seeing the effects of that. The overseas, you can take a thing and just take it too far, too good. And it starts eating itself up like a cancer. It goes back to itself. So, and the other thing with the supply chain, we're seeing how weak ours have been. So I'm hoping the supply chain thing will be coming strong in America, that we need it here, and not rely on that. Are you feeling optimistic about that with what we're learning from COVID?
So what we're learning from COVID is we don't have enough population to work the warehouses. And so robotics or transportation inside the warehouse actually is helping. I went to a seminar once, a populationist who studies the United States population. And he was saying in the next couple of years, we're not going to have enough population to run these warehouses. If you think about an Amazon warehouse, it takes hundreds of people just inside one warehouse to run that. I was at a customer in Florida a couple of weeks ago, and they were 37 people short to run that warehouse. And so we're proposing automation to them just because robotics don't call in sick and they don't give excuses why they didn't come to work, and they're there every day. So I hear and understand what you're saying, but I do believe there is a place for automation. Just because we need to be able to operate the warehouses to get the products to us so we are able to purchase them.
Hi, Damon. Good to see you. I tend to go along with your viewpoint. I think for every job that automation might displace, there are 2 or 3 other jobs that will pop up due to productivity. Human beings are amazingly adaptive, and we find ways to keep going on. I do want to say, I met your wife through Toastmasters.
Oh,
Probably
nice.
the germinating seed of all of this, because that's where Steve and I got to know each other. Gina was instrumental in starting Cherokee Toastmasters years ago. But very much want to thank you for your involvement, your support of TEDx Dupree Park. It means a lot to us to have somebody local in the community and somebody that has such a wide footprint in doing very important work. Is there whatever we can do to help you be a success? We'd love to. Just want to thank you again for being a part and coming on the show.
Hey, I certainly appreciate the opportunity, and this TEDx for me has been great. I am a vegetarian vegan myself, so it really resonated with me. So that was great.
Well, excellent. We look forward to seeing you as times roll on. We're looking forward to November 20th. We are going to blow the doors off of Woodstock. We want to help promote you and everything that you guys are doing. And is there any final thoughts you want to leave with us on how we can get in touch with you and how we can help support you?
So we have a website. It's www.mathand.net, N-E-T.
Okay.
We will go all over the world as Gina introduced me. So we just appreciate your support, and we look forward to supporting you on November 20th.
Well, that sounds excellent. Damon, thanks again so much, and really appreciate all that you're doing to help automate our workforce and keep America moving in the right direction.
All right. Thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Damon. All right. Well, we're wrapping up another fun adventure here. There was a comment that was shared a little bit after Dr. Shaw got off, but I did want to recognize my friend Jean Schumacher. She's the one who introduced me to Dr. Shaw, and she's going to be on our show, I think next week. Actually, she'll be there with Dr. Deborah Shapiro and talking a little bit more plant-based stuff. They're doing some really interesting work in the pregnancy world and helping people with different health needs. So just so much to learn here. I love doing this show every week because I always learn something from our guests.
Yeah,
I do as well.
too. And I just love being able to meet them and see them on just a human basis, the doctors and, the personal basis. And it just, kind of reinforces these speakers that we've got are just, right up their field. It's pretty good. It's exciting.
It is very exciting, the stuff that we're learning, the things that we're making a difference in contributing to Woodstock, Georgia, America, and planet Earth.
Okay. Well, I do see that all of our speakers are still, presenters today are still out there in our audience. I'm just going to bring them on so everybody can say a big goodbye. So you guys, I think you're probably ready. Come on in here and we'll do was it the show Hee Haw, where they would do a hee hee ha ha. So at the count of 3, let's say go, seed some greatness. So 1, 2, 3, go.
Go seed
some greatness.
That's a little harder to do than I thought it might be. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. Really a pleasure having you on. And thank you for being part of our TEDxDupreeParkTV team.
Thank you very much.
Great show. Great day.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Okay, well, with that, thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the show, please share it, like it. Join us again next Friday at 2 p.m. We're on every Friday at 2 p.m. I think we'll be taking off the Friday before Labor Day. That's coming up fairly soon. But in general, we're out here every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And so we're presenting our team members, our speakers, our sages, and different people that we think that you would like to meet from our world and people that we believe are seeding greatness. And we want to share them with you. So thank you guys so much.